Hang on. That's it. Righto. Now I'm just going to sand this down. One sec. Righto. Now, just going to sand this box down. Doesn't take much. Righto. While I'm here, I'll just put all my screws in. Righto, just so I don't forget when not that I'm going to forget, just so when I come back to sand it, it's already done. Now, I've just got to trim around here, the inside, where you get a little bit of a frayed bit sort of thing. Get rid of that. Right, so that's how you... Righto, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to put this back in the glass and bay. There we go. Now, I'm going to cut this box. Now what that means is I'm going to put a layer or 2 layers of 6 ounce over the box. It acts like a lintel. If you've got a crack in the front of your fin box, this is because the guy or girl that made it didn't do this. Okay, float my sticker on it. If you've got a crack here, this is what they didn't do. Okay, it's so common. Sorry, just clean that bit up there. I get pissed off when I hear of manufacturers refusing to do this. And I always tell the story of when I knocked a contract back worth a fair amount of money, around $30,000. I said, no thanks. And because the glasser didn't want to do it. And unfortunately for that glasser, I was a glasser. And I cared about my reputation more than him. So I said, I don't want that contract. So he missed out on a big contract. Never let people, you know, decide your destiny when it comes to you making your boards. You decide where you're going to fit on the quality scale. They decide where they're going to fit. Sometimes it never matches up. Now, what I'm going to do now, I get my cheap sticky tape. You notice I put all my tape that I'm using above the door. Never gets lost. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the start of this tape. Where are you, you bastard? There you are. There. Now, it's going to be hard because I've got a mask on. I can't break it with my teeth. So I put that here. See, I put the tape here. Now, before I do go any further, I'm going to answer Gaz's question. Gaz asked me about my router. Now, what I have, Gaz, sorry, I'll turn the sound off here. On the router, you have this little sleeve that fits in there, and it's about 3mm step. So when you're routing, I'll show you what it does. The template sits inside, see there? So when I'm cutting, it's like that. I hope that answers your question. Okay, and when I do my fin box, same thing, it sits in that there. That's just a little guide. Okay? Let me know if you've seen that, Gaz, and it answers it. Leave a message somewhere. Right. Now, sorry, I'm constantly cleaning up. I've just turned into a real OCD on cleaning. Even though this room floor's about to be replaced, I want my room being clean. So constantly, if you've got a bit of rubbish, you're not using it anymore, throw it out straight away or put it in a bin. Because nothing's more of a pain than having shit everywhere where you don't need it to be. So I'll cut this. Lift that off. Lift that off. So that's cut a couple of mil around the hole of the box. Some people do this with green tape when they finish coat it and they don't trim it, but I don't. There. Get up. Righto, so that box now is sealed within reason. Just don't push too hard down on it. So I put this piece of glass over here. Okay, that means the box is now capped, and that can go there. Sit it in the center. Beautiful. Now, I fold that back because I'm going to float my sticker on. Yeah, put my tape back. I always find myself, that's rubbish now, that one, bin. Just whenever you walk past something there, I'm going to pick up that bag, throw it in the bin. It makes a difference by the end of the day when you just keep picking up shit. See, my bench is nice and neat. For a glass and bay, this is immaculate. I've seen some real shit holes. And if you've got anything in your room that you don't use, like I'm going to put that ruler away, throw that foam in the bin and put that bin box back on the shelf. It's just little things like that that you see. If you keep doing it, your room will look great. Same with up on here, I don't keep crap sitting up on my acetone tin. Old blades, straight in the bin. Right, so I wet this part here first, and that stops it moving. And I wet that there, grab my sticker. Very proud of this sticker, made in Australia. Not that there's nothing wrong with made in the USA or made in England or even made in China, as long as you haven't paid for slave labour. I've got no problems with made in China. The only time I have is if the person that's getting it made hasn't paid the right wages. I've got nothing against the Chinese people. It's those pricks at the top that are the problem. The ones that become millionaires when they can't even feed their own people. Get that straight for a second. I'm not against Chinese workers. Never have been. I think they should have a revolution like they did the first time, like they're trying to do in Hong Kong, and get rid of the government. Myself, I don't think the Chinese People's Party is really for the people. It's for the people at the top. Righto. That sits on top. Now, because I've got this at a hot mix or pretty quick mix, if I don't rub that in, all that won't go off. So what you do is, excuse me, you use your roller and see all those little dry bits? They go perfectly clear. It just forces it to be wet out perfectly. Okay, you don't want this patch to stand out in any way at all. Now, you see when I started, there was heaps of bits where the glass wasn't wet out yet. Now, you see that it's perfect, okay? Clean your roller off. Righto, roller clean. Always leave it ready. Right, leave my brush there. That can sit there for a moment. Dirty acid, leftover resin can go in there. That'll make that go solid. Right. So all I'm going to do now is mix up another coat, put a filler coat on that. Now see how it's perfectly clear? See how you cannot see any of the glass? That's because I used the roller. And that's about to gel. If I didn't use the roller, the glass wouldn't have wet out properly. So that's a little trick you can do. Now, a little filler coat to go over the top of it. Careful of that, that's my leftover acetone. That can go in the bin. I'm going to pour that into the... Actually, I'll do that now. I started a new tin, and you always have a little bit left in the old tin. So I will... It's only about 200 mil in it, maybe 300. So it's just making sure everything comes out of the tin. Now, that can go there for the moment. I will bag that all up shortly. Now, bit of filler, a bit of wax solution, bit of hardener. I'll stir this up. Again, in the bin. Just gone off yet? Not yet, nearly there. So I'll mix this up. This won't go off before I have to paint it on. But what I'm going to do in between that, I'm going to put those three things away over there that I talked about before. And as I say, if you constantly clean, you'll find your workshop looks fucking amazing. Just put things back like this. Okay, that's going in the bin, that's going back on the shelf, that's going back in here, and I had another one in here, a box I've got to put away. I just find that constantly cleaning up, putting things away, like this bit of paint, chuck that in there, this one, chuck that in there, good, that can go in the bin. Just checking for anything, screwdriver can go away here, that can go in the bin. So it's looking a lot better. Now, that's just gelled. Righto, so what I do now is I'll paint that. So this filler coat means this is no longer sticky like the filler coat on the board, and when I sand this later I'll feather all that in, and this will have now 2 layers of glass over the box, and you will not see a crack on the front of the board here on a Peter board. You'll have to do something catastrophic, like really hit something hard to make that crack, okay? But most people get it through general use. Okay, they don't do anything but go for a surf and they get cracks. Right, so that's done. Now put my brush away. The only thing I'm going to be doing next is 2 finish coats. So roll me cloth up. There we go. Hello, what's going on here? My cloth. There we go. Sorry. My cloth protector has chucked the wobbly. Get back here. There we go. That goes down here. That sits there. My thumbtack. I need another thumbtack. Just holds it in the wall. Righto. Thumbtack here. Another thumbtack up here. And I'll put another one here. Oh, why not drop it? Anyway, so that protects my... And the reason you do that, give me an example. If I was carrying some dirty acetone and I dropped it on the ground and it splashed up here, it would go through every roll of cloth and ruin it. You'd lose, you know, when it's full, 3 grams worth of cloth, 3.5 grams worth of cloth. Okay, so that's why you have it. Always have your cloth covered. Okay, that'll do. They're all ready to go. I'll come back after lunch and sand these. Okay, that's all ready. Mark's will be stoked, and then these will be getting finish coated to Savo. Okay, so sand and time. Okay, that'll do. That's the end of that transmission. I'm going to go and help Kim with